Hello people, welcome back to the series Let's Go the Go Programming series. So as I told you in the last video, today I am going to discuss about a special topic. The special topic is, wait for it, variadic functions. So variadic functions are very special kind of functions because it doesn't have a clear idea about the number of arguments it is receiving from the caller. So you can pass it any number of variables, 10 variables, 20 variables, 30 variables, 2 variables, 1 variable, even 0 variable. It's still going to process it. It will store it in a certain variable, it will store it in one variable, and it will iterate over that variable, and it will get all the values you have sent to it. So it is not only limited to Golang. You can also have this concept in Python, Java, Scala, Ruby, etc. etc. This is a very common concept. So in this video, I am going to cover about three topics about variadic functions. Well, what is variadic function? I already discussed about it. Number two, okay, my space bar is a bit slow. How to use it in Golang. Number three, a simple example. I will cover a simple example, then you'll have a clear idea about what is variadic function and how to use it. Everything will be clear after the example thing. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started with the code. I'll open my editor. I've already created a file, variadic functions demo.go, where I have all the boilerplate code necessary necessary for the compiler to know that is a Go program. The Golang will not throw an error if these things are present. So, what is the syntax for a variadic function in Go? Well, it's pretty simple. Let's declare a variadic function. I'll say any variadic function. Any variadic function. So how it is going to receive those variable number of arguments? Well, it's simple. Say we want numbers, variable number of numbers, and its data type is int. So simple. To declare any variadic function, the argument will be the variable name followed by space followed by three dots. This thing is important. Three dots followed by the data type of the variable you're going to pass. Here is a catch. It will be the variable number of arguments can be of only one data type, and you cannot have like lot of variable number of argument kind of thing. You can have only one variable number of arguments data type. That means you cannot have a variable number of a variable which will contain the variable number of string along with the int. You can have either string or int, but not two things. Like you cannot have a variable number of strings and variable number of integers along in the same function. You can have either variable number of numbers integers or variable number of strings. So here the concept is quite clear now. Now how are we going to call this? It's simple. Call this with any number of arguments. Suppose 10, 20, 30 or 1, 2 or a large number of arguments also, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the list may go on. Or you can also pass nothing. You can pass blank here. It will still process it. You don't believe me? Well, let me show you. Well, as you can see, I have already tried this stuff and it works pretty smooth. But let me show you. You have to save this thing. Without saving, it won't run. Yeah, it's not giving us any error or anything. So I'm assuming that it works fine. So now let's cover an example. So imagine, in which case are you going to use a variadic function? Well, suppose you don't have any idea about the number of variables you are receiving from some other stream, some other source or something. You don't have a proper idea what you are receiving. So in that case, you are going to use a variadic function. You're going to receive the number of arguments from the uh, variable number of arguments from that source, and you're going to pass it to a variadic function. For example, suppose you have a server kind of thing, and the client is sending it a lot of numbers of posts. Suppose it's a blogging server, okay, it is handling a number of blogs. So a client, he has saved the, he has not submitted all the posts. What he's doing is saving a post, and at a certain time he is submitting everything in one go. So your server doesn't have the clear idea about the number of posts it is receiving. So what it is going to do, it is to process those posts, it is going to declare a variadic function anywhere in the server code, and then it is going to pass the number of posts to that variadic function. Simple concept, okay? I'm going with diff to HTTP and all, HTTP server and client, but you don't have to worry about it. I was just giving an example. I will cover HTTP server and client at the end. I'm giving you a small spoiler thing, because always uh, my goal was to cover some HTTP kind of stuff in this series. So I will cover that in the end. You don't have to worry about it now. So in our example, I will give you a small, very small, minor thing, minor use case. Like you want to print the sum of first n natural numbers, or first n anything, first n of n numbers. So what are you going to use? You can use array, as I discussed earlier, but array also you have to you have to declare the number of items the array must contain and all, and you have to declare the sum in somewhere in the memory. It will take some memory. Why do that when you can use variadic function? You can pass it any number of arguments to it, any number of variables to it. So let's code that out. Any variadic number name will be changed to sum of n numbers, and this must have a return type. And let's have it till now, change it name to sum of n numbers. And let's, okay, why are you autocomplete always does this kind of stuff? We don't need this. Just copy this thing and replace any variable function with sum of n numbers. Copy, replace, and now we are going to code our logic here. To store the sum of any numbers, we have to initialize a variable with 0. The idea is pretty simple. You want to store the sum of each number in there, total. First we initialize with 0. Then when you're iterating, you get the first number. You want to store it in it with the sum of the previous number, that is 0. Then again, second number you have to store. Total has the first number. Now you have to store, add with the second number and store it. So like that will continue. So let's declare a variable total with the initial value as 0, and we have to return the total at the end. Now let's iterate over this thing. How are we going to access each variable, each value in this numbers thing? Well, the idea is pretty simple. We have to iterate over it in the similar fashion we are iterating over an array, a slice, a map. So what were we using in that thing? We are using the function range to get us the index and the number of each entry of that list, map, or slice. Well, this is similar to array. So it will have we want the index number, and we must initialize as the range of numbers. Since range thing gives us the index and number at any point of time, for any entry it will give us this index and its value. So another thing with Go is, if you're declaring an array and if you're declaring anything and we are not using it, then it will throw an error. So why declare index? Because I think we don't need index here. So what we are going to do is, we can simply replace it with underscore or blank. If you're not using anything which are declared, we don't need to declare it. We simply need to replace it with underscore. Now uh, let's have the sum logic here. Total plus is equal to number. It will add a number to it and store it. Then the next time also it will add this number and store it. So it goes like that. Well, you must have coded this in if you are if you know basic of computer language, then you must have encountered this kind of program. So yeah, we are pretty much done with it. Let's print the numbers also. Let's print the sum also. We have to import fmt or format package, and then we have to use fmt.println or format.println, since we want the result in different line. And let us copy up this thing. Oof, this is very time taking process. I don't write this type of programs here. I'm just writing this to show you. Okay, we are done with the demo. Let's run this thing out. Okay, as you know, the sum of 10, 20, 30 is 60, 10 plus 20 is equal to 30, 30 plus 30 is 60, 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, and the sum I have entered first 10 natural numbers. So as you know, the formula to calculate the sum of first n natural numbers is, first n natural numbers is n into n plus 1 whole divided by 2. So n is here is I will go write the if you're confused, I'm going to write the formula here. N cross n plus 1 whole divided by 2. It is the sum of first n natural numbers. Don't be confused with this thing. It is sum of first n natural numbers. Here n is our 10. 10 into 10 plus 1, that is 11 whole divided by 2. That is 10 into 11 is 110 whole divided by 2 is equal to 55. Whole divided by 2 is equal to 55. So what are we getting here? We are getting 55. As you can see, the third thing we are printing is 55. As in the last case, we are not passing anything, so we are getting 0. So we are done with this demo, we are done with this video, we are done with this tutorial. In the next video, I'm going to talk about struct in Go, which is also a very important concept. So stay tuned, and I'm signing off.